Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andrea and I'm a music photographer based in London and I do videos mostly about that. It's been a little while, I'm sorry about that. I hope to start making more frequent videos this year. Also, sorry about the noise, gotta fix my mic. There might be kids screaming outside, hopefully you can hear me okay. Today is Jan 16, 2026, and it's a very special day. The new Sleaford Mods album, The Demise of Planet X, Jesus. The Demise of Planet X comes out, and I had the honor and privilege of working on the album cover design with them. So I shot the cover with them last year during fall, and I wanted to kind of memorialize that event in my career, in my personal life, by making a little video and talking about the design, how it was during the day, and sharing that with you guys in case that's interesting, in case any of you are aspiring, photographers who have some interest in doing album artwork. I also feel like it could be something nice for me to watch back one day, and thought that I would share with you guys as well. So the way that this project worked, the way that this project happened, I feel like all of these projects are a little bit different in the way that they come to be and how they get done. So with this one, it was kind of a sweet full circle moment, because if you've been following my channel, my career, my Instagram for a little while, you would have known that in 2024 I won the Abbey Road's Music Photography Award, and I did a video about that. I talked about it a lot on my socials. It made me very happy. And then from my understanding, Jason of Sleaford Mods, he found my work through being at the award ceremony, and then he reached out to me and said that he would love to get some press shots for the band done soon, and I was super excited. They're incredible. I don't feel like there's many artists like them around at the moment, at least in my world, and I've been following their work for a little while because I've done some previous work with Rough Trade Records, which are also the record company looking after them and releasing this album. So I've always had my eye on them. I've always found them very intriguing and interesting. So that was a very cool moment for me. And then, so the idea was that I would come to a recording session of them at Abbey Road, which on itself, it's already super exciting and a, incredible privilege. And to take some press shots for them and the campaign of their new album that was coming out, and also shoot some BTS video footage. So I also got to document them recording the album in itself. So that was cool. So, okay, Lumi. I have the camera balancing on her cat tree right now. Okay, Lumi. Lumi. Oh my god. I have an exciting week ahead. I have a couple projects that I think might be fun to share over here. So today I'm heading to Abbey Road Studios to shoot Sleaford Mods at a recording session they're doing there, and I'm just gonna take some photos, also some behind the scenes video footage, and yeah, spend a day there. I am super excited to be back at Abbey Road. It makes it feel quite full circle. I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, I usually am before a shoot anyway sometimes, but like I mentioned before, I'm not only taking photos, I'm also capturing video, and that's something that I've done a little bit less of when it comes to camera work, but it's also something that I've done. I just haven't done a lot of it recently, and also I'm doing it all by myself, so almost like a two-person's job in one. And so for that reason, I'm taking two cameras, one with a video setup and then one with a photo setup. Initially I was just gonna take one and swap, but that feels like a nightmare, because once you get your mic plugged in and everything working, you kind of don't want to keep taking things off and on just in case you forget to turn the mic on one time. I don't know, I just want it all set up and working so I don't have to worry too much about that. So I can quickly show you what I'm gonna take with me. I'm gonna take this cute little girl that I haven't used in a long time. I used to shoot with her. It's the Canon 650D, and I actually really like the way it shoots video. I actually prefer using it for video, even though technically the 5D is a better camera. and everything. I just prefer the experience of shooting with this one because it has the adjustable monitor and you can just kind of move around, and you can hold your camera at an angle where you can kind of see what you're doing, even if the camera angle is hard to look into. Basically what I'm saying, with the Canon 5D, it's really hard to see what you're filming. If you're like filming at an odd angle or like below your head or something, it's hard to see what's going on the screen, and this one has like a more adaptable option, so I think it's easier. And then I also got this little mic to capture some better audio. So yeah, and then I'm also taking my vlogging camera, I guess, and then also my computer, because I might want to check the audio levels on there from the SD card of the camera I'm using to film. So I'm very excited, and I hope you are excited to come with me and see a little bit of the behind the scenes. And then hopefully at the end of the video, once all the footage is signed off, I can show a little bit of it here. And yeah. Hi everyone, I'm back from the shoot at Abbey Road and it went super well. I think Umi is attacking the cat tree again. As I was saying, just got back from Abbey Road and it went super well. I think I got all the shots that I needed. I filmed the guys recording. They're currently recording album. They were just recording 4 songs, and I captured a little bit of the behind the scenes with videos and photos, and then we also did a little photo shoot around the studio and then at the front of Abbey Road. And I will start editing all the stuff that I got at the shoot pretty soon, maybe today or tomorrow, and then maybe I'll see you guys again once I'm editing or done editing, and we can talk a little bit about the photos and stuff like that. And yeah, I will say it was a little bit challenging because it was just me, so I had to record some BTS, and by recording I mean like video capture some moments of them recording the album, and also choose when to stop recording and take photos instead and document it via photography instead of just videos. So it was just me and those 2 mediums, and like I said, it was a little bit overwhelming but also very exciting. You just have to be on a lot and try to figure out which moments were better for video, anticipate which moments you think would be better for photos. So basically I did that. They were doing some takes on some tracks for the album there, so I got to see that, which was great. During the moment when they were actually physically recording, you know, Andrew on the synths and Jason with the vocals, I was mostly trying to like maybe film, not really get in the way too much. And then once we had little breaks, and especially towards the end of their recording, I asked for us to have a little moment to shoot some press shots around the studio, because the studio was very intricate. There was a lot of equipment lying around, obviously, and I thought it would look very cool as a backdrop to some images, because I thought it would be cool to maybe manually colorize some of those photos, because if you know my work, that's something that I do. I used to mostly shoot in black and white. And then I started missing color, and then I started to manually adding color back to my photos after they're shot. So I had some ideas for that. I wanted to, like I was saying, get some shots of them in the studio and then like color all the little intricate details, the wires, the buttons. I thought that would look very striking, you know, very colorful, because there's a lot of different things to color. Because sometimes if you're just shooting, you know, people against a black background, which is what I do as well, you just get to color, you know, them and their instruments, which is fun. I mean, it's great, but I also love when you get like a very interesting background that fits very well with the subject, and you can have that in the photo too. So that's what we did. So we shot in this separate adjacent room as well where the piano was. We took a couple shots there. We also shot against like a blank wall because that's kind of my signature style, and I really wanted to have some in that style. And then I guess our favorite shot from that day was one of the last ones, and I asked them to sit in front of the main recording like desk with all the equipment and have that as a backdrop. And like I said, I think I had maybe like 10-15 minutes to get all those shots, so I was trying to get as much variety in kind of that small space. We actually did shoot a couple outside the studio with the Abbey Road name on top as well, but they were mostly shot in the room where they were. And yeah, and then I edited the photos and then I sent it to them, and then initially those were just going to be press shots, but I think them and the management decided to maybe have one of those images be used for the cover, which was so exciting and kind of unexpected as well. So they went with my personal favorite photo of the shoot, which was the one of them sitting down with the sound desk behind with the wires, all the colors. They wanted to license that photo for the cover, and I was so happy about that. So we did that, and then the design team at Rough Trade Records did such a good job. They did so many cool different variations of the vinyl cassette. They did like slip mats, even like a yo-yo and stuff, all using that image, and they adapted it a little bit to their needs. And then the gatefold of the record has the original photo in it, which I'm really happy that we get to see the original photo because I also love the way it was originally. So we get many variations. I really wanted to film the video today because the album comes out today, and I just wanted to get it out as soon as possible, but hopefully by the time I'm editing this, I'll have some of the physical copies of the record with me and I can show you here in person. So here is the main image that we chose on my computer screen. So apologies, the colors are not very accurate, but I just wanted to show you the photo and different parts of it in more detail and kind of explain things a little bit more. So like I said, I really went for a purple tone throughout the photo. I thought that worked best because I wanted to keep their outfits very simple because I didn't want to change their style too much. They both have a signature clothing style that they like, and I kind of wanted to keep it true to who they were. I don't always do that when I shoot, but in this case I kind of wanted to. I did add some fun little accents in green on the buttons and then on the shoelaces. I love coloring the shoelaces. I think it always adds a little fun, unexpected pop of color. And then I just had a lot of fun with the wires mostly. That was a lot of work to kind of get them all individually colored correctly. Yeah, this was interesting because usually when I colorize images, I only have the people, the subjects to work with, and I go crazy on the clothes and I have a lot of fun. For them specifically, I wanted to keep them kind of a little bit more true to how they were in the day and then have a lot of fun and explore more on the background. It's really nice to kind of have that in the image too, because this was shot on a day that they were recording the album that this photo was used on. So I kind of like the authenticity of this moment and how it was used on the album too. So I finally got my hands on one of the copies of the vinyl. There's a few different versions and all that, but I just wanted to show you one of them. They have their name and the album name embossed over there, and then when you open it, you have the main image, which, like I said, I love that they use the original image with the background, because for the front cover it was more minimal, and then here it's with the full image. Then this is the version that has the orange neon, which is pretty cool, and that's how it looks. It's a little see-through too. I haven't been able to go see the campaign in person at record stores and stuff, but a couple friends sent me some photos, so I might include that, or maybe I'll get a chance to see it in person. And then I also got a copy of the CD, which is so sweet, and again, it's very similar to the vinyl, but I love the way the CD came out. Let me see if I can pull this off. So cool. And you can just spin it around. And yeah, these are the versions that I have with me as of now. Just wanted to include it on the video as well. I also just wanted to say, and I'm sorry, my washing machine is going on. I don't know how to pause it. But I love how they borrowed the colors from the shoes. and the shoelaces for parts of the sleeve, especially here. And then also how they borrowed my purplish, pinkish tone for the spine. I think all those design elements worked really well with the image. Everything blended out, and yeah, it's really nice seeing it in person. Hey guys, I'm just editing the video now, and I just wanted to get on here and say something that I forgot to say. I guess like a tip. It might seem obvious, but I just thought I would say it anyway. I think a very valuable lesson that I've learned throughout my career is that you should always approach every project that you do with your maximum capacity, because you never know where those images might end up one day. You know, you might be casually maybe going out, you know, just by your own accord, maybe shooting for free a band that you think sounds really great, and then, you know, in 5-10 years they, you know, launch this incredible career and you were there to document it at the very start. Sometimes things may seem low stakes in the present at the time. Not that this shoot with Sleaford mods was ever low stakes, but it did end up becoming something bigger than I thought it would. Not to be too dramatic, but anyway, it was supposed to be a press shoot, and then it became an album cover project, which is one of my favorite things, you know, to be immortalized together with an artist that I admire in that way. But all of that to say that you should always approach every project, whether it's paid, whether it's not, whether it's commissioned, whether it's just you wanting to go and do some, you know, take some photos, always approach it expecting it to lead to something great, which it might do. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Also, like, don't be discouraged when you're working on something that you feel like is maybe not as major as you want, or I don't even know how to phrase this, but like, never be discouraged by any of the work that you're invited to do. Like, I remember at the start of my career, to be honest, I was always quite excited to go and take photos, but sometimes, you know, when you're doing it a lot and maybe you're not seeing the results you want, you get a little discouraged. But every project, every photo is an investment in a future that could surprise you, if that makes sense. It could lead to something great. So yeah, hope that wasn't too general, too obvious. I was just editing and I wanted to kind of add this in as well. So yeah, okay, bye. And one last note, I'm sorry about my vocabulary on this video. I'm saying exciting and cool and great a lot because, in all honesty, it's the first time I've picked up a camera in a long time, and I think I get a little nervous, my brain kind of shuts off, and I get literal stage fright. So yeah, but hopefully as I film more videos, I kind of warm up to the idea, to the concept of talking alone, and I can express myself a little bit better. But yeah, thanks for bearing with me, and bye for good now. People will ask me sometimes how I choose the colors that I choose for the photos, because a lot of the times the colors that I paint things with are not the original colors in the image. So I take a little bit of creative freedom with that. And my answer to that is there are no real rules, I guess. I do have a select little color palette that I kind of always go with. There are there's maybe like 30 colors in there that I love and I tend to use quite a bit. So I will usually start off with, greens and teals and a very reddish pink. And then I tend to color the main part of the photo with those colors and then add little accents here and there with the other ones. It just kind of is like instinctual. There's no real big rules. It's kind of when you maybe paint a painting, you have a loose idea of the feeling you want the image to have and an understanding of which colors can provide that. And for me, those are the colors that I usually start with, depending on the mood I want to go for. And with them, it's interesting because instead of just using mainly blues and pinks, I kind of went for a more purple look, purple and green. And I think in my head, it just kind of went really well with how I saw them as an artist, mixing green and purple and sort of opposing colors like that, very clashy colors, kind of represent kind of the punk spirit a little bit in my mind. So that's kind of how I got to those colors, I guess, a little bit. It's kind of hard to explain something with a narrative when you kind of just do it instinctually, but I'm just trying to dig in and see why I made certain choices in case that's interesting or helpful for you guys. And yeah, I guess that kind of sums up the color choices. And then with framing of the images, like I said, it was a limited time, limited space. So when I got in the room, I took notice of the main little spotlights that I saw, meaning like the most interesting little corners and bits. And the sound desk was one of them. There was also a beautiful red wall that I loved, and I saw a big opportunity there, because if you're someone who shoots in black and white a lot, you know that there are certain colors that come off differently in the black and white version of the image, if that makes sense. So like red is one of the images that I think I can mess around really well with when changing the photos from color to black and white. I can get a really rich dark with that, so that's lovely for editing, and I knew it was going to work really well. So again, I took note of that. And then yeah, you kind of have to get a little bit creative with the space you have and the time that you have. But I'm very happy with the selection of images we got and with the final result too. And this was a very special opportunity for many reasons. It was one of the first opportunities, I guess, that happened to me that were directly correlated with winning the award. And it was really lovely being back at Abbey Road this time in this different context of going there for an assignment and being in the studio and working, as opposed to just, you know, going there and to a party and being around everyone, which is kind of just as special, but it's just different. And it felt like a step forward in my career. It's just nice being in Abbey Road working, I guess. So yeah, that was a sweet kind of full circle moment. And yeah, I mean, please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to talk about. I do have some videos that I'm editing, and I want to post them that I filmed a little while back. So I'm just kind of warming up and figuring out what's interesting for you guys to know. So do let me know if there's any sort of specific questions or approaches you'd like me to take certain things, or if you have any questions about this shoot in specific. And yeah, thank you so much to Sleaford Mods, to Rough Trade Records, and go get the album. It's out today, Jan 16, 2026. And thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.